Good morning, it is Saturday the 22nd of November and it is 10:15. So I'm just about to start an Uber shift. I dropped on a little kind of last minute Christmas shopping this morning, so they wanted dropping off down in Liverpool. So not too bad, to be honest. Woke up to that this morning. So yeah, I've just dropped them off, got back to Ormskirk, and I'm just about to log on. I didn't log on when I was down there because you just get dragged all around Liverpool, and you don't tend to get jobs coming from Liverpool back this way. And then you're kind of looking at jobs popping up and you're thinking, should I take that? And then you just end up getting more and more into the bowels of like Liverpool and whatnot. So I like to get back here, log on, and then it should give me jobs around here. I know it's Uber, and Uber will, probably the first job will be 10 miles away, but yeah, that's kind of how I prefer to do it. So yeah, I'll log on now and let's see what's happening. So the time is 1:15. It's been 3 hours, so I've been meaning to do another update, but it's just been busy. It's just been job after job after job, to be honest. So yeah, very first job, customer cancelled. Nice of them. Next job, just in Ormskirk. I've pretty much just stayed in Ormskirk for all of these. £4.49. It's a 5-minute job going 1.5 miles. Then had a £7.30 Ormskirk to Maghull, 4-minute job going 1.8 miles. And then had a Maghull back to Ormskirk, £8.26. That was a 15-minute job going 6.2 miles. And then had what was this? Skelmersdale back into Ormskirk. That was £10.41, 11-minute job going 3.5 miles. So that was the first hour, which was quite good. That was like 18.25, about £30. Then going into the second hour, little Ormskirk to Ormskirk, including a £1 tip. Students, £4.78, just at the campus there. 3-minute job going 0.7 of a mile. Then had Ormskirk to Ormskirk. Yeah, quite a few of these have all been going to the train station. You've got people going into Liverpool shopping. I think Liverpool are playing today as well, so they're going down there. That was a surge job apparently, £5.42. It was a 4-minute job going 0.9 of a mile. Then had another surge job. Hang on a sec. Is that all I've done in that hour? Can't be. 11:15. Oh no, sorry, get my time mixed up. Another surge job, £5.41, 3-minute job going 0.6 of a mile. Then had £7.11. Again, back to the train station, 5 minutes going 1.8 miles. Then a £3.77, 4-minute job going 0.9 of a mile, students again. And then I had a burst go to back to the train station again, £7.81. That was a 5-minute job going 2.2 miles. And then that was pretty much that hour as well. So I've been offered quite a few bigger jobs. One was to Blackpool, £50. One was to Stockport, that was like £55. One to Warrington, that was about 30 something pound. But I've tried a lot of those jobs, including the Blackpool one in the past. You get up there, it's either dead or you're then driving back. Most of them jobs, it says it's going to take like an hour to get there, but it's not. The motorways are going to be rammed. Everyone's going Christmas shopping. Everyone's going out. It's Saturday. The weather isn't the greatest. So all the gritters have been out, so they're quite wet, and so all that slows people down. So it's going to take you longer. So, for example, the Blackpool one, I'm not going to drive all the way to Blackpool and drive back, because then I'm looking at what, £25 an hour, and then think of the mileage that I've done on that. I think like one of the other jobs I was offered was to like Stockport. Again, it was like 50 something pound. But then for me to get there and back, I was looking at like 50 miles. And then the job that came up after that paid me like £8 to go like a mile. So again, I know it's hard at times because you see like these big numbers come up and you think, oh, smash that, there's 50 quid. To me, those jobs are only any good if, say like you were from Blackpool and you've had a job where you've dropped off down here, then yeah, that's a great job for you. An hour back, 50 quid, happy days. But for you to go up there, you then work in Blackpool, and I've tried that and it's crap. So I always prefer just staying local and doing the little smaller kind of jobs that come through, and basically just kind of like smash through them rather than the long distance ones, because One, Uber takes more of a commission, so you're actually getting less for your miles and for your time. And secondly, you don't know who the customer is. They might be an idiot, there might be 6 idiots, you don't know who it's going to be, and then you're stuck with them for an hour or an hour and a half. At least if you've just got a little 5-minute job or a 10-minute job and they are idiots, which there's plenty of them on Uber, at least you're kicking them out a couple of minutes later, do you know what I mean, and you get some fresh people in. So yeah, we then went into the third hour, £7.81, 5-minute job going 2.2 miles. Then they've given me a £5 tip. This was a Burscough, well, that other job was Ormskirk to Burscough. This one was a Burscough back to Ormskirk again. So that came to £14.10. 9-minute job going 2.7 miles. Another surge job, again in Ormskirk, £4.57. That was a 9-minute job going 1.3 miles. That was to the train station, and then I got an Ormskirk train station to Burscough train station, which I am now, because the guy had missed the train or something by a minute. And I was like, oh, what time's this one due? And he was like, 18 minutes past. I was like, well, we're going to get there at 17 minutes past. I don't know why people leave it so late catching trains, and then you end up paying the extra because you're then having to change plans, or you're going to a different train station, you're spending all this extra money on Ubers. So that one was £8.18, an 11-minute job going 4 miles. So yeah, I've just ticked over me 3 hours now, and I'm on £91.65. So yeah, I'm on over £30 an hour, and it's still early in the day. So a lot of the time you'll struggle to get £30 an hour this early in the day. You're looking at between 20 and 25, and then you should start hitting your £30 an hour once it kind of gets into the afternoon and then going into the evening. So yeah, it's been busy, to be honest. So I'm gonna go back on now, and yeah, hopefully the £30 an hour continues. So, little update, it is 10 to 3, so it's been an hour and a half since the last update, or maybe just a touch under. So last update was 15:15, but by the time I done the update didn't start going till about 20-25 past. So we got my first job after that, again still at Ormskirk, a surge job, £10.55. It was a 5-minute job going 1.8 miles. So we've done one of these jobs, took a screenshot of it here. So one of them, I think it was paying about £10, but I had to run 13 minutes to it, which was 5 miles. But then it was only like a 2-minute job. So there's a lot of drivers out there that say, I'm only going to do a job that's within a mile of me, 2 miles of me, or something like that. But I'm thinking, you know, granted you're running, it was 5.1 miles to run to them. But then if you're only taking them like a mile and you're getting £10 for it, you've got to look at it as in, what am I going to achieve in 15 minutes? You're going to get about £10 for it. So then you're on track then for like a £40 an hour. So that was one of the jobs that I took. So I took that screenshot to remind me that at the time I was 5 miles away from the job, which I think was this one here. This was the £10.55. So that was a surge job, 4-minute job going 1.4 miles. So it wasn't too bad, to be honest. After that, because then I was still technically classed as Ormskirk, got another £8.62. That was a 10-minute job going 2.9 miles. Then had a priority, which was, well, that's one of the things. It's kind of like weird. It's, well, not weird, but like that job, I picked them up from the uni, and as I picked them up, the next job popped up, and that was someone else from the uni, and she was stood right there. And it's kind of like, I know Uber offer Uber share, but I feel as though they should have an option where it says, it notifies the people who you've just picked up and the person who has just booked the job in the same pickup location. You know, it should say like, look, these are both basically going in the same direction. You know, Uber share kind of like pops up and says, look, if you both accept this, you both get like 20% off or something. I don't know. It's just because I went and dropped them off, and hers had popped up as an Uber priority, so I had to go and take these, drop them off, turn around, and then come straight back for her. And then she was paying £13.25, a 12-minute job going 6.3 miles. Now it said Wigan when it came up, but it wasn't. It was basically down a couple of the little country back roads, which then technically takes you out into Wigan. But yeah, it wasn't Wigan. It was still quite close. I was quite lucky then, because then I then got a job which was Skelmersdale, which was like 2 or 3 minutes away, bringing you back into Ormskirk. So they're all it's all right on the border: Ormskirk, Skem, Wigan. That was £8.91, 13-minute job, 5.3 miles. Dropped them off in Berscow, and I then thought I'm going to have to head over towards the charger. So started heading here, and then I got a job which was in Berscow, heading a little bit further down the road back towards Ormskirk. £3.76, a 3-minute job going 0.9 of a mile. So it wasn't too bad, to be honest. Currently on £136 and change, and I've done, that last one was an hour and a half, so I've done 4.5 hours. So I'm still on £30.22 an hour. So it's still good, to be fair. That's the jobs I've been popping up one after another. But again, I've just purposely been picking them smaller jobs. I could have done some of them little big hitters, you know, like 50 quid. Oh look, I'm in Blackpool or whatever. But yeah, I just prefer to stay to the local ones. Like I said, if I'm on around £30 an hour for a Saturday, I'm happy with that, because it's Uber. The last couple of Saturdays I have been on £40 an hour, to be fair. So hopefully things might pick up now, because I'm the only person here on charge. I'm getting the full 50 kilowatt. So hopefully I'll be here an hour tops. I need to go and have a bit of a break. I'm going to go and get some food anyway. Yeah, that's about it. Another little thing I think Uber should kind of introduce, like a passenger got out before and she was like, oh, there's a watch here. She's handed me a watch over. But it's like, unless one of the passengers, you know, sends you a message through Uber to say, you know, an item, you know, someone's left an item. You know, for like, I've taken loads of people to the train station, so she's lost the watch now, saying she, because it looks like a female watch. But then she's getting on a train, so she might think, well, I've left it on the train or whatever. I feel as though if you find an item, you know, you can basically put like item found. It then sends a message to all of the jobs that you have had that day, which then says, have you left an item behind? You know, so then that individual can then go, oh, thank God, the Uber driver's got it. Yes, I've left a watch. And then it pops up to try and pay you. Because it's daft. Like, if you reach out to Uber now and say, I've found something, it's just a big rigmarole. They basically then say, oh, well, you know, you need to go and hand it into your police station, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's like, you just hold out and you wait for the passenger. It might be today. I've had people contact me 2 or 3 days later because I've got sunglasses or a sunglasses case or something like that, and I just leave it all in the glove box. So yeah, I just need to wait for this woman to message me to say, you know, have you found my watch, and then basically organise to go and drop it off. But I just feel as though the Uber could make it a little bit easier there to basically return the property to the passengers. So yeah, that's about it. I'm going to have a break now, and the next update, what's that? It's going to be like 4. It's going to be like 5 o'clock, something like that. Once I've had my break, I've charged back up, and I've gone back out again for at least an hour. So yeah, still busy-ish. It's still saying it's all, you know, the fake surge things, but it's still kind of saying the job waiting time round here is between 1 and 4 minutes, which, to be fair, that's kind of what it's been, but that's what it is normally on a Saturday anyway. So yeah, I will catch you in a bit. So it is 6:20. I charged up and I came back online at 4:10. Where was we? Yeah, wait around for about 5 minutes, got a little job. Again, still in Ormskirk, £8.07, a 7-minute job going 3.3 miles. Then had an XL, £7.12, that was a 6-minute job and that was only going a mile. Then had a £4.96, it was a 1-minute job going 0.2 of a mile. So I picked them up because it was basically just round the corner. The guy comes out and he was like, okay, I was just waiting for her. I was like, everything alright? He went, yeah. He said, we're literally going 200 metres down the road. He said, but she doesn't want to get her hair wet. And then she comes out, and it wasn't even raining, and she went, oh my God, it's not even raining. So she's going to me, oh, I'm so sorry, I thought it was throwing it down. So we went 200 metres down the road and I stopped and I was like, I think that is the shortest Uber trip I've ever done. And she was all apologetic and she was like, I'm so sorry, I thought it was throwing it down. I was like, well, don't apologise to me, you need to apologise to your fella. I said, because he's paid for me to come and take you 200 metres down the road. Yeah, so he wasn't happy, but I was. After that, I had a little cash job. It was the woman that I dropped off at the train station this morning to go to work. It was the same woman I picked back up. That was £6.14. It was a 3-minute job going half a mile. Cash collected £5.95. Well, so Uber took a loss of what, 20p on that. And then that one kind of ran into the next hour. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad of an hour, to be honest. After that, I started the first one off. It was a bit of a longer trip, but it was £15.75, 12-minute job going 5.2 miles, but I ran about 10 minutes to it. So it was roughly a 20-minute job, because I seen it as, okay, I'm running 10 minutes there, but it's paying me for running back. So it wasn't too bad. And then straight after that, it was another Ormskirk to Ormskirk, £10.78, a 9-minute job going 4.1 miles. And then I've just took a job and dropped off in Skem, £8.82. It's a 14-minute job going 6 miles, but I took it because I was driving past the train station and it popped up and said basically turn left here now, where's the customer? So I was like, you know, can't really just drive past it. So the past hour again was what, 10, 20, 30, or 33 in the past hour. So yeah, past 2 hours, it's offered me 30 trips and I've done 7. So I've done £61.64 in the past 2 hours. So up to now, I'm on 198 and I've done 6.5 hours, which is still coming out at nearly £30.50. So yeah, still on that, over the £30 an hour, which I like. That's about it. Still kind of busy-ish, to be honest. It's still ticking over. I was sat there for a minute before when I dropped off in Ormskirk town centre. I was just sat there for maybe like 5 minutes, and you know, and it's saying on the thing, you know, it's all red, you should get a trip within like 1 to 2 minutes. This one again's not too bad, so it wants me to go back to Ormskirk, so I'll take it. So it's going to take it, because I'm going to head back to Ormskirk now anyway, but it's saying it's going to take 10 minutes to get there and then 10 minutes to drop them off, but it's offering me like 12 quid. So again, it's like a 20-minute job, but I don't mind it as long as they don't mind waiting, to be honest. But yeah, sometimes you pull off, they look at it and then they think, oh, I'm not doing that because I can't be bothered waiting. But I just see it as, well, you know, you're still going to be on that at least £30 an hour, if not more. So yeah, I will give you another update. So update time, it is 8:20. It's been another two hours, yeah. It's busy in here. Yeah, it's been 2 hours again. So it's I've just came back here to go back on charge for a little bit. I don't know how long I'll stay on charge for. It's just because it's busy. So it's kind of annoying because like in summer I get a good 6 hours, 6.5 hours out of a charge, just doing kind of local Ubering. Get a top up pretty much in the middle of the shift and then carry on. Whereas because it's so cold, and then obviously the heater's going on and off, kind of intermittent, I'm getting like 4.5 hours of like local kind of Ubering, so a little bit of a pain, but it is what it is, I suppose. So yeah, carried back on, 6:20. First job was a surge job, £11.84, 12-minute job going 3 miles. Then a little tiny one, £6.48, 4-minute job going 1.3 miles. An XL, £7.94, that was a 7-minute job going 1.7 miles. Again, still in Ormskirk, £5.55, a 4-minute job going 1.5 miles. That took me kind of out of Ormskirk, only by like 1.5 miles. I then got a job which was Skelmersdale to Skelmersdale, so it was like a 5-minute drive to get there, but it was paying £13.79 to do a 6-minute job, which was 2.6 miles. So all in, it took me like 10 minutes to do that job, well, about 11 minutes, but yeah, £13.97. I was down in Skelmersdale, and then I was hoping I was going to pick up a few jobs around there. I then got offered a job from Skelmersdale back to Ormskirk, Surge paying £17.27. It was a 14-minute job going 6.8 miles. So just in that last kind of like half an hour alone was like 30 quid just in the half an hour. So yeah, what I noticed was interesting. I've took an image when I've logged off. So when I logged off before, I'd done 4:20 until 6:20. I was offered 30 jobs and I'd done 7, and I was paid 61.64 between them 2 hours. And then when I've just logged off now, which was 6:20 until 8:20, I was offered 32 trips, so only 2 trips more than the previous 2 hours. I completed 6 trips, which was 1 less trip than the previous 2 hours, and I made £61.05, which is 49p less than the previous 2 hours. So it's almost identical. Like, if that's not rigged from Uber, I don't know what it is. You know, it's offered me almost identical jobs, as in the amount of jobs. I've accepted, you know, basically the same amount of jobs, and I've been paid 49p difference. So I'm currently on just under 260, and I've done 8.5 hours now. So again, I'm still on just shy of £30.50 an hour, which I'm sure that's exactly what I was on the last update. So yeah, basically because it's busy, even when I go on the app now, it's still saying, you know, between 1 and 3 minutes, and it has been, to be fair, it's been quite quick. Still loads of jobs coming up, as you've just seen. You know, I've been offered like 30 odd jobs. You've just got to pick through them, you know. Some of them are tempting. You look at them and it's like, oh look, here's like 30-40 quid here, but it's miles away, you know. And then a job pops up and you're getting like £7 for like for like a 1 mile job, which is going to take you like 5 or 6 minutes. So you've just really got to sit there and pick through them. But yeah, so I thought I'll jump back on charge. I'm not going to have a full like hour charge, because if I stayed on charge now, that's going to take me to like 9:20, which would then give me like another 4.5 hours. But I'm not going to stay out until like 1:30, because I hate staying out past midnight, because there's just way too many idiots. So I'll stay here for 20 minutes, like half an hour max. That'll get me back up to like almost 3/4 of a tank basically, and then I'll carry on again. So I'll catch you in a bit. So a little update, it is 10:10. So I carried on at 9:15 after a little top up. They're a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I thought it's busy, so I might as well. So yeah, I've basically just done, well, just shy of an hour. I've done like 55 minutes. I've been offered 8 trips and I've done 4. So it seems to have gone a little bit quieter, but still ticking over, to be honest. It's hard to judge off just 1 hour. So I'll just load this up. Where are we? So first job was an XL, £6.60. 4-minute job going 1.1 miles. Then had a woman with her sons. She's been a nurse for like 50 years or something. She can retire next year. So anyway, we got on to talk about like the pandemic and stuff like that, and she was like, oh, I nearly lost my job in the pandemic. I was like, oh, why is that if you're a nurse? She was like, oh, I refused to have my jabs. And I was like, all right. I said, well, I would have thought with you being like right on the front line, mixing with everyone that was dying of COVID, you would have had your jabs. And she was like, no, I don't agree with it. So they were basically, at first they were saying that you were going to lose your job if you didn't have your jabs, but then I think the government made like a bit of a U-turn and said, okay, it's not compulsory for NHS workers. So she said yeah, so I didn't have it. So I was just like, why wouldn't you have it? Like at the time I was in the fire service, like I had mine and all my booster jobs because I was mingling with loads of different people. I seen people die of it, you know, there was bodies getting moved, you know, there was people at the station that got COVID and took the station out and everything. It was like, I don't know why you wouldn't have had it. So yeah. Are you one of the, you know, did you have yours? Are you one of them people that was against it? Are you one of them people that thought it was the 5G masts? One of them whoppers? So yeah, let me know if you had yours, because it's like, I don't know, it's just a bit weird. It's like when I'll still see people now who say they've had like a newborn baby. oh, I'm not having my baby have its vaccinations, and I'm just like, why wouldn't you? Like, oh, I don't know. That's I think that's a separate topic. You could go on for about an hour, but yeah, bit of a whopper. After that, I had a little tiny job, 379. It was a 4-minute job going 1.2 miles. Then had another XL. After I dropped there off, it was a bit of a pain because I went down this little back road, and then this copper was walking over to like stop me because there was a recovery truck in front, and I was like, oh, I'll turn around. He was like, oh, he'll only be a minute. He's just throwing this car on and strapping it down. And I'd already picked this job up, so I was like, I ended up doing a 3.10 going the other way, so it was a little bit further for me to get there. And then as I'm driving around, I was 1 minute away, and she sends a message. There's a load of students at the campus. She goes, oh, I'm so sorry, we'll be 3 minutes. So I pull off. About a minute later, I see two of them walking over. I thought, oh, I'm not being an anchor here. So she was like, oh, is it, such and such? And I was like, yeah. I said, well, where's everyone else? She was like, oh, they're coming now. So I was like, oh, right, okay. So I just sat there. So I purposely didn't open the door because I didn't want them to just be sat there for like 20 minutes. So only about another 2 or 3 minutes goes by, and then the others come over. But yeah, I couldn't even, it went into the chargeable time, but you have to sit there for like 6 or 7 minutes now to be able to cancel it and get your money. So yeah, I got £7.83. It was longer. It was only a 3-minute job, 1.2 miles, but the whole job probably took about 15 minutes or so because of that delay. As soon as I dropped them off in the town centre, I got a job from the train station coming to Skem, £8.66. It was a 12-minute job going 6.2 miles. And that was it. So that's like the first update I've been able to do that was actually on time for this evening. So yeah, I've done the I think it came to about, what was it? I took a screenshot of that, but I haven't. 15, 16, 17, it was about £24-25. So yeah, a little bit slower than the previous hours, but no, it's a bit strange because when you look everywhere, it's all still saying it's all, surging. Here's one of them little purple ones that comes up where it says a surge price in effect if you're on that little tiny purple thing, which is back in Ormskirk. So I don't know, go back online now and see what happens. So I'll catch you in a bit. It is saying I've got 1 hour and 14 minutes of drive time left, which you have to take that with a pinch of salt with Uber, because it's definitely fabricated them numbers. I can tell you from experience. It just says, oh, you got like an hour left. You end up working like another like 4 hours, and it's like, oh, you've got 20 minutes left, and you're thinking I've just done 4 hours. So yeah, it's definitely blagged that. So I've just accepted this little XL job here, Skem to Skem. So I'll catch you in a. So that is the end of the shift. It was 11:45 when I stopped, so I'm not too far away from mine now. So basically I stopped because my drive time ran out. It'd been slowly ticking down, and then I think it was like the second to last job, it said you've got 1 minute left, but it still allowed me to take another job, which was like a 15-minute drive. So that's the only reason I stopped. So the last update was 10:15, so I done another hour and a half until my time ran out. So as soon as I came back on, after that update, I had an XL, which was a Skem to Skem, £8.57. It was a 6-minute job going 2.6 miles. I then had an Ormskirk to Ormskirk, £9.69. That was a 7-minute job going 3.8 miles. I then had an XL, which was Skelmersdale, Hull, going into Southport. So I had to run about 5 minutes towards it, but it was paying £15.74 for a 13-minute job going 5.3 miles, plus the other 5 minutes. So it was like an 18-minute job. If anyone ever gets a job to that Skelmersdale Hull, make sure you go off the main road, because the Uber app takes you all the way around the back, and then if you do follow it down, it takes you to a dead end, and then you're miles out the way. Plus, when you get on site, there's no signal, so you can't contact the customer. The job doesn't actually even start. You just got to hope that they're actually there when you get there. So when I went in this time, because you go right off the beaten track down, so it's like a big private school that's in there, and there was just like a big group of people, so they all started climbing in. Another guy comes over, he's got no signal. He was like, oh, did you see a such and such a car down there? He said, it's saying my Uber's here, but he's not here. And I'm like, yeah. So when you book it, through Uber, it sends the drivers around the back. So if they're not local, they're not going to know, basically. So yeah, you might still be there for all I know. So yeah, I took that, dropped them off in Southport. As soon as I dropped them off, I got another XL job, Southport to Southport, £7.48. It's a 4-minute job going 1.5 miles. After that, it was an X job. I ran probably 5 minutes to it, but it was £9.23. It was a 10-minute job going 4.7 miles. So again, I thought, well, you know, nearly £10 for 15 minutes, happy days. And then that's when it came up saying, sorry, after I cleared that job, it said you've got 1 minute of drive time remaining. But then it allowed me to take that other job. The last job was, because I thought I'm going to have to start heading back towards like Ormskirk now, and a job popped up, Southport to Ormskirk, which was less than 10 minutes away from my house, and it was paying £11.98. It was a 16-minute job going 7.8 miles, so it's covered the majority of the distance for me to get home. But it's kind of like, it's naughty in a way, because Uber know I've only legally got 1 minute of drive time remaining with the passengers in, but they've basically given me a job which exceeds that, because it was 16 minutes to drop them off. And it's naughty. I've mentioned it in the past, because I used to be a HGV driver. When your 10-hour drive is up, it's up. It's not, oh, because I used to be on the car transporters, so I couldn't turn around and go, oh, I've only got 5 minutes left on my drive time. Oh, it's okay, because I'm dropping this car off and it's another 20 minutes away, I can go and drop it off. It doesn't work like that. Whether you're loaded or you're empty, doesn't matter. If you're behind the wheel, it's 10 hours, end of story. Like, I've been out today now, started at, what time was it? Was it 10 o'clock? I can't even remember, it's been that long. 10:15, so technically I've been out now for what, 10, 11, 12, 12. I've been out for 14 hours. Now granted, you know, 2 hours of that I've been charging up, but Uber doesn't know that. Uber doesn't know I've been charging up. As far as Uber's been concerned, I've been out for 14 hours, but they're basically saying, well, you've only been driving for 10. Now I know, for, like I said, 2 hours of that I've been technically off the road because I've been charging, but for the other 2 hours I haven't. So technically I've been driving for like 12 hours. So that far exceeds the law. So I think it's wrong how Uber can get around it, because it's dangerous. So yeah, that was basically it. It's my little rant. So I finished anyway. I've done 41 trips. I was just talking to driver Denny then. I've done 41 trips, because I said, how much do you think I've done in my shift? And he went, oh, I think you've done between 40 and 50 shifts, but about 30 of them were XL jobs. And you'd be quite surprised. So I've done 41 jobs, so you pretty much got that, but only 8 of them were actually XLs. So, because he was saying, like, you know, you've got an unfair advantage, because I was asking him how much he's made and whatnot. But it's yeah, it's not. Some nights I could come out and do, you know, 40 trips. I might have done 2 or 3 XLs. I might have done 20 XLs. So it just purely depends. But yeah, I've only done 8. So I have a lot of people who will message me saying, oh, I've got such and such a car. What's the best car to use? And I'm like, well, there's no best car. It's what car suits you. You know, what get a car that you're going to use. You know, are you just using it for Uber? Are you using it for private work? Are you using it for family life as well as whatever? You know, and work it around that. I wouldn't go out and buy a car specifically for Uber, if I'm being honest. You know, I didn't do that. I'm probably 10% of the driving work that I do, the driving side of the career, if you want to call it, is for Uber, which is like Friday, Saturday nights. The rest of the driving stuff and the other 90% of the money I make driving is through private work. So yeah, there's no real like top one. Like if say from 41 of them jobs 30 would have been XL or 35, then yeah, you could probably say, oh yeah, there's a massive demand for XL, so I'm going to make more out of an XL. But there isn't, because it can vary so much. You know, it depends on the seasons. Obviously, coming up to Christmas, you're going to get more XLs because you've got like staff nights out and stuff like that. But on just normal weeknights or weekdays, it's very little, to be honest. It's rare you'll get like an XL job during the day. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, I done them 41 trips. So I finished on £350 and 96 pence, and I've been online for 11 hours. So that works out at just shy of £32 an hour average, which is good. You know, like I've said time and time again, I'm happy when I'm working Uber as long as I've got at least £30 an hour. So that's kind of like my bottom line. If I go below that, it's painful. And what makes it more painful for me is, like I said, because 90% of the driving work I do is my own private work, and I earn a lot more than £30 an hour when I'm doing that other work. So for me to go from that over to Uber is a bit of a kick in the nuts, to be honest, because it's like, oh, I've made £30 an hour. Now I know £30 an hour is good, but private work pays a hell of a lot more than £30 an hour. So that's why I have like a cut off of like £30. If I come out sometimes and it's like a Saturday night and I'm doing like 20 or something, I just think this is crap, and I basically just call it and go home. So yeah, like I've said in the past, if you come out and you do like a good 12 to 14 hour shift, if you've got £200 for your shift, you've done bad. If you've done £300, that's like, you know, a good night. And if you've done 400, you've done like really good. I think I've only gone over 400 once, maybe twice in all the time I've done Uber. But yeah, there's quite a few times I've nearly got to 400. Like I've been on like 390, 395, and then my time runs out. So yeah, 350 is good, to be fair. Couple of things. There's a lot of one-way systems in Ormskirk. I was going down one before, and there was headlights facing me. Straight away I was like, that's definitely a taxi. So I was dropping a customer off right by where this car was. It was near Wetherspoons. So I'm driving towards them. So instead of being a Karen, like I've pretty much pulled up alongside them. So I opened the door, let her out. So I thought, it's definitely a taxi driver, but I couldn't see any like badges or anything. So I just pulled forward and wound my window down. And he looks at me and said, all right mate, I said, just so you know, to one way. I said, not being a Karen or anything. I said, but if the police see you, I said, you're going to get done for careless driving. And he's like, yeah, it's fine, I'm just dropping these off. So I was like, oh, so there is a taxi. I said, yeah, it's fine. I said, it's just there's CCTV everywhere, so if they see you, you'll get done for it. And he's like, yeah, it'll be all right, lad, it'll be all right. Scouser, typical. So I was like, yes, mate, don't worry. So I pulled forward, I had a look at the back, and to be honest, I thought it was going to be Wolverhampton plated, but it wasn't. It was Sefton plated. So that was quite funny. Another one was, a job popped up. I was just wondering if any of you would take this job. It was Ormskirk to Chorley. It was paying £69, and it was going to take an hour. So I didn't take it, and I'll explain why. If it was during the day, I would have took it, and that's because it's an hour there and an hour back. You might get something coming back, but even if you don't, £35 going, £35 an hour coming back, which is good. You know, that's more per hour than what I've made for this whole shift, because I've been on 32. The issue being, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Now I know from experience, if you pick someone up, I've been dropping people off all day now. They've been going watching the UFC. So I've been taking all these people out early. They've all been on it from like midday. Liverpool's been playing everything. You're going to pick someone up that's potentially been out for the past 10 hours or so, rat-arsed. You're going to drive them for an hour. The likelihood of them throwing up is extremely high. And then you've got to say to yourself, was that job worth it? Because again, I've had to have this valeted out twice in the past. Cost £190 each time to have all these seats taken out, everywhere steamed, and Uber's going to give you max about 80 quid plus you're off the road. It's just not worth it. Now I would have took that job if it was like a weekday during the daytime. Yeah, I would have been more than happy to do that, but 11 o'clock at night, I'm just not willing to do it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know who would have done that. You know, are you willing to roll that dice? Would you have taken it? Because yeah, for me, it's not worth the risk. Granted, you know, I've probably done another, you know, to make that £30 an hour, I've probably been averaging like what, 4 or 5 jobs an hour. So yeah, you know, over them 2 hours, I've had to deal with between 8 and 10 different customers to get that £60, £65, whereas you could have just done that one customer to get that 70 quid. So yeah, you know, it makes sense, but I think about the cons more, and especially because of what time of night it was, so it just wasn't worth it for me, so I left it. But yeah, that was the biggest job of the night, £69, but yeah, not for me. And that's about it. So yeah, I probably would have stayed on a bit more. I'm not feeling tired or anything, to be honest, so I'm going to go back and edit this video and watch telly for a bit, to be honest. It's still all surging mad everywhere, still saying the waiting time is between 1 and 3 minutes all around Ormskirk, going into all Wigan. Some places are saying it's 1 minute. I can see as far as like Blackpool, wait time 1 minute all over Blackpool. Preston, 1 to 2 minutes in most of the places. Some places the outskirts is like 15 minutes, but yeah, still massively surging now, and the amount of time I've been waffling now, it's 10 past midnight. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.